So undoubtedly, the topic of conversation at the moment is Liam Lawson that is going to be switched out of that Red Bull seat for Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki finally getting his chance in that big brother team. Something that I just didn't see happening. I just thought, even with all the outrage and the cries for him wanting to be replaced on social media and online, I thought Red Bull, look, yes, they are very quick to change drivers, but they at least always get half a season. Kvyat, Gasly got 12 races at minimum, and I think with a 24 race season that was suitable, especially for Liam Lawson, who hasn't had the practice and test sessions that the likes of Kimi Antonelli has been afforded at Mercedes to get up to speed in potentially a tricky Red Bull car. But while no doubt Liam Lawson's performances have been a defining factor of why this move has happened, this unprecedented move of replacing him after 2 races, and credit to Yuki Tsunoda for starting so strongly and to be finally seriously considered for that promotion, there is a real reason as to why Yuki has got that seat, and it's not solely down to the poor performances of Liam Lawson. And for that, we have to go back to the end of 2024. So the end of 2024, Sergio Perez has finally been bought out of his contract, and well, it was highly reported that it was around the figure of $20 million. Quite a considerable amount of money, even for Red Bull. And well, Sergio Perez, for the most part, was a paid driver in that second Red Bull seat. His salary of $10 million was paid by his many sponsors, and they reportedly provided an extra 20 to 30 million on top of that to Red Bull. So for them to finally get rid of Sergio Perez, that's one of the main reasons why he was there for so long, was the cash cow that he was while his talented teammate Max Verstappen was winning world championships. They kept him there because of that, because it was easy money for them, and they were still winning at least one of the championships. Until last year, that was. But Sergio Perez, they finally got to a point where they just had to get rid of him. He was doing more damage to the brand. He had served his time, and with, of course, the pack and the competitiveness of the F1 field becoming closer, they couldn't no longer have Sergio Perez in that second seat, and they needed some fresh blood. Hence the appointment of Liam Lawson. And that caused considerable outrage because, once again, Yuki Tsunoda had been overlooked. And we know primarily political reasons were the reasons why Yuki didn't get in, because the Honda partnership is coming to an end, and Yuki has always had very hard links to Honda. However, what many people aren't aware of is that Honda offered $10 million on top of the $10 million salary they already put forward and pay for Yuki to Red Bull. They offered an extra $10 million for him to be promoted, and Red Bull turned it down. Supposedly, Christian Horner and Helmut Marko turned this down. Now, no doubt that was probably agreed and greenlit by the wider stakeholders of the Red Bull team, the Red Bull family and the tight ownership who own the majority stake, and they put their faith in Liam Lawson because Marko has a lot of faith in him, as did Christian Horner as well. Hence all the comments of, it's going to take him a while to get up to speed, we're going to have to give him the support. And that seems to be very hypocritical now because of what has just happened. Fast forward to now. And well, what has happened is that there was a board meeting in Dubai where the tyre business owner who owns the majority stake in Red Bull is based, and there was an emergency board meeting with Horner, Marko and other stakeholders on the board of Red Bull, the decision makers, the guys who own the company. And well, what has happened in the last week is that it has been reported that Honda reapproached, or actually Red Bull, still yet to be confirmed who it was, but it is reported that that $10 million offer was presented once again and has become a defining factor and accepted as a defining factor for Yuki's promotion to Red Bull. Now, under the stipulation that Yuki is promoted to that seat in time for Suzuka, which is Honda's home race, a Japanese company, and of course Yuki's home race as a Japanese driver. So the people who are saying that if this wasn't Yuki's home race next coming up, Liam Lawson would remain in that Red Bull seat are probably true. That is probably accurate, because that $10 million offer on top of the $10 million they already pay for Yuki to be in that second seat at VCARB. So primarily, Yuki is a paid driver. We always knew he was in that second Red Bull seat because of his links to Honda, but I didn't realize Honda actually paid a substantial amount of money to Red Bull. I thought it was a quid pro quo type situation because of the engine partnership. Evidently not. This deal has been put back on the table and they've accepted it because of the poor start of Liam Lawson. Now, why is that? $10 million is probably not a lot to Red Bull, you'll be thinking. Well, if you're already £20 million or dollars, or whatever currency it is, out of pocket from Sergio Perez, who you've just paid out of their contract at the end of the year, and then the driver who you may have been convinced to keep in that team in regards to the board members, that is, by Horner and Marco, and you've turned down that offer, and then he gets off to the worst start in Red Bull's history, regardless of the state of that second car and the Red Bull car at the moment. Why aren't you, as a business, why would you not take that $10 million offer? Because if Yuki comes into that seat, as many predict, and he has the same struggles as Liam Lawson, well, why not get $10 million for the trouble? Why not get $10 million extra that you wouldn't have by Liam Lawson struggling in that car instead of Yuki Tsunoda struggling in that car? So it is a pure business decision that I'm not entirely convinced maybe Horner and Marco were on board with. Maybe they entertained it, but if you're a stakeholder of Red Bull, you may not be as emotionally invested in these drivers. You're looking at the figures, you're looking at your bank balance, you're looking at the accounts of Red Bull. And it's already 20 million down. It's going to be even more down because one of your drivers is finishing dead last while the other one is struggling to win races this season. It's not a good look on the brand. And ultimately, it's all about the brand. And it's about earning money. F1 has always been about the money. So while Yuki, yes, deserves to be in that second Red Bull seat on merit, he's there because of money. As it always comes back to in F1. And Liam Lawson, we know he hasn't had the financial support as other drivers have to get to the top echelon of motorsports. He has had to work his way up to where he has done. He's had to put performances out on track through his junior career in multiple racing disciplines to get an opportunity in F1. And he got to the point where he got picked up and gained the attention of Helmut Marko and got onto that Red Bull system to have this opportunity, which has been taken away from him. Now, I don't agree with him or any driver being replaced after 2 races. I just don't, no matter how difficult the car is. You cannot expect a driver to sort everything out in 2 race weekends, especially when you're running different setups and different parts and experimenting. There's no consistency there. If I was Liam Lawson, I would have wanted the setup maybe to just, do you know what, let's just keep it the same for 1 race weekend, but he's not even going to have that opportunity. So yes, Honda have basically presented an offer that is too good to refuse for Red Bull right now, and that second Red Bull seat is a paid seat. It's a paid seat. Now, Yuki is there in his last year of his contract at Red Bull. Honda are in their last year of a partnership with Red Bull as the engine supplier, and then they move to Aston Martin, where there's been obviously a lot of links with Yuki there in the future. Who knows? And maybe Yuki smashes it, and Red Bull decide to keep him on. And for 2026, I don't know. But what we do know is that money has played an influential factor, as well as the performances. But I don't think Liam Lawson, without this £10 million or dollars on the table from Honda to promote Yuki now, I don't think Horner or Marko would have accepted this. I actually don't still think, and reiterating it, I actually still don't think they maybe were in favour of this. And I think they may have had to have bowed down to the majority owners of Red Bull. I generally do. So yes, either way, it's a business decision, not purely based on performance-related reasons. So yeah, why not get 10 mil for a driver who may equally perform as bad as a driver you're not getting really any money from? It's a no-brainer really as a business position. And there's also the marketing aspect as well. We know Sergio Perez brought in a shed load of money in regards to merchandise and that. There is going to be so much fanfare of Yuki. He is a fan favourite. I personally like him. I have had my criticisms of him out on circuit. He's definitely been arguably, I think, the best driver the start of this season. If you just check out my driver ratings, he's absolutely smashed it. And yeah, he is going to be, there's going to be a lot of Yuki merch sold this year, which will help fill that financial hole that Sergio Perez has left. And Liam Lawson, well, yeah, I just feel sorry for him. I hope that mental fortitude that was praised so much by Christian Horner and Helmut Marko, I really hope Liam Lawson, he's got a bit of time to basically just knuckle down and prove people wrong that he does have the talent. He can go to that good RB car as it currently is and score some points and at least still have an F1 career. Whether it will be back in a Red Bull, maybe not, because of those monetary reasons and maybe due to those concerns of that he'll perform this way again and he doesn't bring that money with him to basically outweigh a lack of performance. Sergio Perez had that, Yuki will have that, Lawson doesn't, and that has always been a worry about Liam Lawson, is that he doesn't bring the financial backing that other drivers do. And yeah, hopefully he can get over this setback, and he's still young and have a flourishing F1 career and a rest of a flourishing 2025. But we'll see. Time will tell. Yeah, it's not the way that we like F1 to be. We want the best driver to be in the best seats. Arguably, Yuki Tsunoda still deserves a spot in this seat. But yeah, that's underlying reasons as to why he is there. So yeah, not long to find out whether it was the right decision or not, whether it's the car's fault, whether it's the driver's fault. Personally, it's a win-win for Yuki because he either looks amazing by getting something out of that car compared to Perez and to Tsunoda, or Lawson, or it is genuinely the car is that bad that Tsunoda can't get something out of the car as well. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it, and hopefully it works out for both drivers. I really hope it works out for both drivers, but please, can we not make this a thing where drivers are dumped after 2 races? It's pathetic, really, by Red Bull, and part of me wants it to basically blow up in their face that Yuki also has struggles, so that it proves Lawson right, and that it is Red Bull that is in absolute disarray, and it's not either driver's fault. But I'm a positive guy and I want both drivers to do well, so hopefully they absolutely smash it for both of their careers.